What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. And today we're doing a quick unboxing on this CJRB knife. This one came in a box with a few other knives. I am severely behind. I'm playing catch up here, so I took out all the knives, and I'm just doing quick unboxings here so I can cut to the chase and get to the unboxing part a little bit quicker. We will do a quick pocket check, and today I'm rocking the Ketuo Griffin. This thing is a beast. Just check it out there. Carbon fiber, titanium, right? It got the button operated compression lock or liner lock, if you would, right? Beautiful looking, just interesting design overall. You got to check out the unboxing on this one. And of course, this knife and every other knife that you see in this video will be linked down below. So if you're interested in checking prices, availability, variants, all those details will be down in the description and also in the pinned comments. So good pocket check right there, having a blast carrying this one. But you're here to find out what's going on with this knife. At last, we're checking out the Bowie Pyrite. If you don't know anything from CJRB, they are awesome budget knife overseas from China. They bring awesome value for the money. The Pyrite is one of their most popular knives, and they have done a variety of different blade geometries with it. The Bowie, I think, being one of the most recent ones. So let's just go ahead and get in here, right? Shall we? We got the CJRB box, the zipper pouch, and bam, here is the knife, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you got the wiping cloth, very nice cushiony inside of the pouch there. But let's get this out of the way and let's focus on the start of the show. Holy smokes, what an interesting looking thing. Well, I mean, a lot of it, for one thing, there's a lot of very familiar lines, right? That handle is very Pyrite, right? Very iconic. Seems like here we did some scales. We got the stainless steel liners, right? And then we got the, steel bolsters, but they are a different color. Then we have what feels like G10, maybe Ultim. It's this wood that's cured. Honestly, I am at a loss for words because it does look like wood, but then it has this sort of clear coat, kind of like extra, very small milling pattern right there that looks very interesting. So whatever this wood-like material, right, it's looking pretty good. It's nice and contour all around. As usual, it is a button lock, right? Got thumb studs here for deployment. Let's go ahead and cut to the chase. Bam! There is your Bowie blade, man. I tell you what, Bowie is one of my favorite blade geometries on, many different knives. I love the Bowie on my Django from Kunwu, and it's nice and interesting to see it here in the Pyrite now with, again, a different blade geometry, right? Got the nice little Bowie front there. It is a flat grind. It has this awesome fuller, right? Look at that fuller right there. It's looking really, really sexy. And of course, you got the good old thumb stud, so you can, deploy it with your thumb. You can reverse flick it all day, every day. And of course, the one thing about the Pyrite is you have beautiful ergos, right? This thing is super ergonomically friendly. There's my standard grip right here. Average size hands, not the biggest of hands or smallest of hands, but I'm able to get a full purchase, no refund, like Knife Dope would say. And then check out the very nice finger choil situation here. I can forward choke, got some jimping going on, and you bet this is definitely the type of grip that I'm going to be using most of the time, right? Definitely enjoyed my Pyrites for that ability to forward choke. And not to mention, this is one of the most fidgety EDC knives that you can get for not a lot of money, right? The price on these are really, really nice. Anywhere between the, high 40s to $50 range or so, right? Really good. Of course, don't quote me on that. By the time you're watching this video, I would have already linked to as many sites as this guy is available as possible, right? Let me give you a little detailed look right here. Of course, we are working with AR-RPM 9, which we learned recently is a spray form steel. Check out the Laren Thomas from Knife Steel Nerds channel video on AR-RPM 9 for more detail. And of course, CJRB is a subsidiary of Artisan Cutlery, which is the brand, the bigger brand that sells the more premium knives, right? The CJRB is more of a everyday budget category, and they bring really good bang for the buck. Here's the milling on the inside, right? It is nicely milled, got that triangular pattern going on in the milling, right? Check it out right there as well. All right, and it actually feels pretty good, not too heavy, not too light. Let's do some size comparisons, right? You're probably wondering, how does it stack up next to the other Pyrites? Well, I do know there's a lightweight version out there, right? Hopefully I'm gonna get my hands on that one here very soon. But here's the OG Pyrite. This one started it all with a drop point blade, right? You can see obviously the same handle, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? It's a really good handle for EDC, super comfortable. So OG Pyrite, here's the Pyrite Alt, right? With the Warncliffe blade or reversed Tanto or sheep's foot, whatever whatever you're feeling for the day, go with that. But yeah, very iconic, highly recommendable knife, I always feature it here as a size comparison knife, just because, you know, most people, everybody and their mother probably owns a Pyrite by now. And if you don't, like, what are you waiting for? It's just one of those like extremely highly recommendable EDC knives that you can pick up, again, for not a lot of money. Not going to break the bank at all. Super recommendable. So, of course, I mean, it's going to line up perfectly with the other Pyrite variants. And these are not just budget, like there's actually other versions of these knives with titanium handles and premium steels and things like that. I think this one's the most broken in for me. The action on this thing is so good. I fidgeted with this one for so many years that it's like so broken in. It probably needs some oil by now. Second most used one, my Pyrite Alt. This one got the hole for deployment, and it works and feels really, really nice. And now we got this guy, right? So it's very similar in a way to the drop point in that we have the thumb studs for deployment, and of course we can deploy using the plunge lock, button lock as well, right? So very, very nice. Let's of course measure it here next to some of the other knives that we typically check it against here in the channel. The Manix 2, the Yojimbo 2, right? Take a look. Those are going to be a little bit bigger. The Pyrite typically lives somewhere in that medium / borderline large, but more medium than anything. A little bit more on the larger side of things, there is the MSI and the Stitch from Microtech. Here's the Demko AD 20.5, right? Actually pretty good size-wise. Those are pretty good matchup right there. The Chad is going to be a little bit bigger, right? Take a look there for yourself. Also on the budget end of things, right? All of these knives are pretty similarly priced. The Kizer Militaw is going to be a little bit bigger. The Vision FG is also going to be a little bit bigger as well. And last but not least, here's a cousin, the CJRB Hectare Alt and the Vosteed Raccoon, right? Take a look there. Obviously closer to the Hectare. They kind of took a little bit of a page off of the Pyrite with the Hectare handle, right? They wanted to create something iconic, something that they could switch different blade geometries into later. So the OG Hectare had a drop point blade, now has the Alt blade, just like the Pyrite Alt. And I wouldn't be surprised if at some point the Hectare also gets a Bowie blade. I'm just calling it right now. You could probably bet money it's going to happen. The Hectare at some point will also get a Bowie blade. Now, obviously, the difference here is the Pyrite is always going to be a button lock operated EDC, whereas the Hectare is a crossbar lock operated knife. And CJRB is doing a really killer job with their crossbar locks, by the way. Check out the Hectare unboxing if you haven't already. I got an unboxing on the Prado as well from CJRB. You should definitely check out. But so far so good, man. Some familiar lines. Of course, the Bowie geometry brings a breath of fresh air to the mix here. Of course, we got to do our scientific cutting test, and I'm going to forward choke right on this blade here. So you can see it's going through. As long as it gets a good initial bite, it's going to cut really good. Of course, I had to jinx myself. Do we have any nicks or dings on here? It actually feels pretty clean. There we go. All right, actually getting some solid cuts there. Let's see, let me make sure it wasn't just that piece of paper, okay? So, yeah, as long as, again, you get a good initial bite, you should be good to go, right? So, cutting paper, it's gonna be pretty good. What happens when I get there? That's what I wanna know. Why is it tearing? Not sure why. There we go. All right, long story short, yes, it's gonna cut paper without a doubt. Keep in mind, this is not a brand new knife. It has seen some use already. There's already some use on that edge for sure. Now, what about some cardboard? I got some everyday cardboard here, right? This is just what you would find on a, there we go. I ordered some filters for my AC. A single wall cardboard. Remember, when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular, but rather at an angle like that. So it should look something like this. Here we go. Bam, boom. Again, that flat grind, putting in some work. Look at that. All right, good action. Once you're into the cut, you can carry that cut all the way forward. Bam, boom. Now, of course, you know, there's some tape on that cardboard, so then I just had to clean the gunk there from the blade. Put on some breakaway CLP here just to get that removed. But you guys let me know in the comments on a scale from 1 through 10, how sharp is this guy, right? How much of an edge has it retained? Let me know. Well, there you have it, guys. That is the CJRB Pyrite Bowie. And again, I think CJRB knows exactly what they're doing here. This is one of their most popular knives by a long shot, and it just makes sense to experiment with a design that works as much as possible. So bringing a breath of fresh air with a new geometry. I know there is an extra large version of the Pyrite. There are mini versions of the Pyrite out there as well. I mean, they've done it all, right? Everything you can imagine under the rainbow with the Pyrite, they have done it, right? Mini, extra large, you know, drop point, Bowie, lightweight version, which I haven't checked out yet, but hopefully soon. And of course, the Pyrite Alt with the Warncliffe, you know, so many options to choose from. Also budget materials or premium materials. I know there's some Pyrites out there with S90V and titanium handles. So I mean, honestly, even carbon fiber inlays. I think CJRB has what they call the perfect Pyrite project. You should definitely look into if you like what you see here, but you want to pick it up in more premium materials. You absolutely can. But again, this is just a quick unboxing, first impressions video, just kind of sharing with you some quick overview, right? Kind of what my first impressions are checking out this knife for the first time. Of course, it is somewhat a design that I'm familiar with a slightly different geometry. So there's a lot to love here. In part, you know, mainly that's the reason why we love the Pyrite so much, even from the very beginning, starting with the drop point. So if you want to know more about that Pyrite, I'm going to put a link on your screen there or a video on your screen for the Pyrite drop point. Also put one there for the Alt if you want to check those out as well. Guys, if you made it this far, you got value out of the video, smashing that like button really goes a long way with the YouTube algorithm. Please consider subscribing. I make knife and EDC content like this on a daily basis. I promise you, it'll be worth coming back for more. And if you want to support the channel a step further, there's a link for Patreon in the description or in the pinned comments, or you can support the channel right here on YouTube by becoming a channel member. You'll get access to exclusive perks, guys. Hope you really enjoyed this one. Thank you guys so much for your love and support. If you made it to the end, you are the real MVP. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll catch you on the next video, either this one or this one. Peace.